Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Hello, Baron. How you doing? What do you think of that Prisma scanner then? Pretty good, is it? See what we can do with this, because we can force influence, and then we've also got this. Look at this death detonation. We've spoke about the Spirit X before, me and you, I think. And then we've got Lavos, who's going to force electric, so we can AoE it, and then hopefully we can get the toxin around the whole room, and then hopefully we can be able to do some sort of double explosions, because we'll have the electric influence, and we should be able to do this toxin damage all over the room too. Nice. What did you have for breakfast? If you hear any weird noise, it's my dog barking. So now we're going to force influence. So hopefully we'll get this toxin explosions too. Oh yep, we've got the toxin explosions. Nice. See them? We're getting toxin and influence explosions, which is quite strong, to be honest. If we can viral them up, we'll do a lot better damage though. So I need to choose my viral setup for this, because this is set to my nourish setup. So we should get on a bit better now. So this is an excellent weapon in the hands of Sarin. It's kind of redundant on Araxia, which is strange. But Sarin, Nezha and Lavos can make this do a lot of damage. As we can see, we're getting the toxin explosions and we're getting the electric explosions, which is really nice. Last night, Baron, I was toying with the thought of the Zylok. I don't know if I've spoke to you about the Zylok. Let's get out here. So we'll give it to Wisp, because we want some fire rate on this thing to really take advantage of it. It's an annoying trigger. I don't know if you've built the Zylok yet, but it is a bit annoying. Well, that sounds pretty nice. Eggs and bread are always a winner, is it? Why have I took mag? What am I doing? But if you look at this here, the Zylok, I believe the Zylok is multiplicative. Nice, good. Definitely a fun gun. I believe it's multiplicative. It definitely feels like it is. So I just went heat and magnetic, because we're stuck for mod space unless I can roll this and get, say, toxin critical damage, and then I can replace target cracker and my toxin mod, freeing up this and that. And then I can fit probably corrosive magnetic heat, which I like to always run, as you've probably seen if you've been watching me for a while. So I think this is a pretty underrated gun. I think what holds it back is its magazine size, and I think another thing that holds it back is the way the trigger feels. I don't think people like the trigger. But look at this already, no stacks. Look at that damage. Already, we're almost hitting 1 million. Now we're 2.4 million, 0.8 million. This is obscene, 4.5 million. 6.9 million. Now look at that. The only thing that's holding this back, I think, is the small mag size and the way the trigger feels. An absolute behemoth of a gun though. That's definitely going to wipe through any disruption target on any level. Going to kill Thrax very easily as well. 1.8 million heat. 6.3 million. So, this is going to do completely fine at level cap. Yeah, exactly. You're right there. You're right about that. It's the mag size and the trigger. What are you thinking about the Ember changes that we're hearing about? Another one that I wanted to talk about here today was the Kunai. I absolutely love this thing. So this is no Riven. I obviously want to use the Riven, but for video purposes, we'll use this. So, that's a really good Riven. Multi-shot critical chance, projectile speed. So we're going to double dip in the heat magnetic, and it's multiplicative, and it seeks out headshots, this thing. You've probably got it already, but, I think a lot of people ignore just how good this thing is. Yeah. The Amber's meant to be changing this year. They're meant to be, aren't they meant to be reworking? Or Pablo was making tweets about it, weren't they? No, next year or something, was it? Personally, I like Amber. It's like saying that what's the point of Araxa existing when we've got Saren? Or what's the point of Amber existing when we've got Uriel in Temple? I understand it. All they need to do to fix Amber, in my opinion, is look at this damage: 9.4 million, 7.2 million. All they need to do to fix Amber is just have her, 1, the fireball you can do, under 4 scale with level. And then, it would be like Oberon's one. We could, heat dot people to death at level cap. And if they're going to do that, they'd be as well fix Volts 1 and Volts 4, because, Volts 4 is useless. I understand it stun locks people and you can get shields off it. But if we're going to have Uriel burn whole rooms and we're going to have Gaia electrocute whole rooms, why can't we have Volt do the same thing? Why can't we have Volts 1 scale as well? Because it just becomes completely pointless unless you're using this augment. And if we're going to fix that sort of things too, anybody else that's got, these sort of weak 1s and weak 4s, who else is there? We've got Volt with his electric cast. We've got Ember with her fire cast. I'm sure there's some, well, there was Oberon as well who did his radiation one, but now that's actually good. If they just applied what they done to Oberon to them two, they can make them both good. Where's my Volt? I haven't used Volt in a long time. I've taken a level cap a few times and he's good at it. I always just run it this way though. I'd rather have the 1 and replace the 4, but I kind of felt like I wanted this for the shields really. I suppose I could drop that and I could put this in. And then I could, use this 1 augment. I might go and try that out actually. Catalyze and shield. I could go this way. I could. I would feel... I could drop that probably. Yeah, I could go this way and use capacitance. In hot shot acceleration. I'm trying to think of what else I could really put here. If I could fit that in, I'd put that in. You know what we're going to do? We're going to buy these. And we're going to fix a few things. Because I unveiled a Verglass Riven. I'm so happy. Unveiled one. When did I unveil it? The other day. And I thought, geez, that's lucky. So, I instantly rolled it and I got critical damage, critical chance, multi-shot, but minus fire rate. So it wasn't the best, but I still sold it for like 700 platinum, I think. So now we can fit this in, give him more strength. We can swap that over. We can give him the 1 augment now. No problem, no problem. You do what you need to do. Just listen to me waffle on if you want. Arcane Hotshot, we can stack that. Dirigal stack that for us. I haven't played Volt in a while. Yeah, if they make Volts 1 and Volts 4 scale with level, I'd rather that happen than Ember change, because, with the way Ember is right now, where is she? No, Ember right now is already given Overguard. Then we've got insane heat damage for melee influence. We've got Overguard, so we can easily survive at level cap. You can stack Arcane Hotshot, so you can free up whatever pet you want. Healing Flame and Fireball Frenzy, in my opinion, are 2 better abilities to have than Volt's kit. So I probably sound mental, and I'm probably the only person to say this. I'd rather that they fix Volts 1 and Volts 4 over fixing anything to do with Ember, because I have a very easy time with Ember at level cap. Not saying that Volt isn't easy as well, but I do think that I'd rather have Volts 1 and 4 made a bit better than they are already. Because, Ember and Volts 1 are essentially the same thing. Yeah, Chroma, yep, completely. I think Chroma, Banshee are the most important ones that need dealt with first. Because, like I've said time and time again, Chroma's got 1 ability holding it together, and it's a fantastic ability, but that's all he's got going for him right now. Now we instantly stack up Hotshot. We can now force heat procs in this. Just an absolutely insane level of damage. Look at that, 23 million heat proc. So, I don't think Ember is in that much of a need to be reworked. I think the problem is everybody wants these frames to be caster frames. if you just play her as she is right now, she's fantastic. But I'm probably one of the only people that said that. And I remember I made a video trying to defend Ember not needing a rework about a month ago. And I got hundreds of comments of people giving me death in that video saying, what a load of shit, you know, she needs reworked, blah, 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 blah. But if you use it as just somebody to give yourself overguard and to buff heat damage and weapons and stack up arcane hotshot, which is amazing for it. So look at this, for example, with the Serata here with electric, gas and toxin. Now Ember can give it forced heat with the melee influence. And this is just gonna, you know, nothing's gonna survive this. Oh, nice. I didn't know you were that big of a Vauban fan. He's just, I can't see past him. It's a lot of formas. It's more, I don't think I've got any frame with 13 forma put in it. So if we do this, also, wait, we need to stack this up to get a bigger heat dot. So to heat dot, it's at 242 right now. Then if we, now we've got 267. Now if we throw this, electric, heat, gas, toxin in the whole room. Stack this up a bit. Which is just a brutal amount of elements to put around the whole room. I think the Serata was my most used melee until I got Glaive Prime. You know, look at that. Just absolutely disgusting levels of damage. So, if you play Ember, what she excels at right now, you know, look at the armor strip as well. Built in, I forgot she's got armor strip. So, I don't think she needs to be getting as knocked as hard as she is, because once they gave her that little touch up or a rework, I started playing her a lot. Before that, I didn't really play her, but you know, you just ignored her for. Give her the 1 augment and the 3 augment, and you do something like this, and you're going to have enough efficiency, you're going to shield gate at level cap, you're going to survive anything in the game, and your 1 augment is enough to literally kill anything you come against. Now, what were we saying? We were talking Chroma. Yeah, Chroma desperately needs something to change with him. Now, I've got him set up as health tank, and I did take this to level cap, health tanking only, and surviving with Guardian armor, Arcane Bless and Persistence. But the problem was when I took it to level cap, they hadn't fixed the slash procs. So the slash procs were ignoring Arcane Persistence, and he was dying. You know, he would just randomly tick and die. So me and Aqua took Chroma to level cap, and then I took Grendel to level cap with him doing Chroma. And we were both dying to the slash procs. Now, was it Medi? What was it called? It was, where is it? Medi something? Medi Ray? I think that's what it was. Where's it going? This thing that heals you. It was like a mini Arcane Grace. There we go, Medi Ray. We were using this as well instead of Guardian to sometimes boost our health up. But it wasn't enough to cut it. We were still dying. But it should be pretty good now. Now, if we give Chroma, he's going to want fire rate for the... We'll give him another multiplicative gun. We'll give him the... What's something that's multiplicative that doesn't need a fire rate boost? We'll give him the Battle Core. This sort of thing on Chroma with his ability to boost damage is going to be crazy. Was that by Demon Prince? That's who really inspired me to get into Ember. A guy called Demon Prince. I think he's one of the best I've ever seen on YouTube. He's fantastic. He deserves a lot more followers. I think he's really good. Demon Prince and a Gaul, the guy that does Excalibur stuff. I think he's fantastic. Him as well. A Gaul really opened my eyes up to how good Excalibur is. So this Chroma should in theory survive this. What have I got? I've got Gloom on here. I should have had Nourish in it, because that's what I wanted to take him a level cap with, without actually needing to have any form of healing. That's what I was trying to set up to do. What am I going to take here? I want to give him, since we don't have Viral, we'll need to give him this. But yeah, Gloom works, but I didn't want to have to rely on something to keep Chroma alive. I wanted to kind of just do it with any subsume I wanted. Okay, I'll have a look. I'll have a look at him. Sounds interesting. Why have I got effigy? Oh, I didn't replace effigy. Oh yeah, it was for when I do the profit taker or whatever it is. Yeah, are we stacking up this? Now the levels of damage on our melee should be ridiculous soon. Once we stack up all this, look at that, toxin dots all over the room. And the gas. Super, super strong glaive. Electric gas Serata is super underrated. Look at that. So not only are you going to kill every faction, you're really going to kill the corpus. Okay, so now we're stacked this up a bit. Now we've got some overguard because our hound, is it the hound? No, but there we go. It must have been the hound stacking it at first for us. So if we unpause this, guys, Chroma should survive this, okay? He should. The problem is it was stats, immunity and healing that he really needed. Now, unless I'm wrong, we should survive this, okay? Oh yeah, yeah. I'll show you the Aelak in a second. It's just absolutely fantastic, Baron. Super underrated gun. Now look at that, 4.7 million, 7.8 million. Now look at our health. Look at us tanking this. Now, every time they die, you know, we just instantly fill his health up. So as long as you're running around with something like a Torrid or some sort of beam weapon that's going to consistently kill for us, there's no reason why Chroma shouldn't survive level cap with this sort of gloom setup. I personally just wanted to have a better subsume on it. And also, you know, any damage we take will just give us health. Any damage we take will give us free energy. So we'll look at that. We're standing under the Jade Light and killing everything still. So it seems that slash procs can't kill us now through persistence. And you throw one glaive, the whole room explodes. But again, that's Chroma surviving on just one ability. The rest are really not important. You know, we can cast the Elemental Ward, but I don't feel myself ever having a need to do it. The levels of damage this glaive does is just... I think it's an extra multiplicative multiplier with Vex armor. Pretty sure that's what I read. So the Aelak, where is it? The Aelak is a super busted gun. So instead of this Riven, you know, this is just giving me, the heat isn't important. I suppose it's nice, but the heat and obviously the main thing here is the heat, the damage and the critical damage. The heat wasn't needed. I probably would have rather had that be toxin. So we've got corrosive radiation. You know, I could drop hammer shot and put in magnetic, but I don't think I really need it. So if I wasn't using this here, yeah, I had a read in them, the one about the football game thing. I'd never noticed that before. I had no idea what that was going in the Zariman levels. So that's not needed. You know, essentially you could drop this. And I'm not going to have enough room, but that's what I would put in here. I would put Serration in here, and I would just go corrosive, as long as you're outsourcing your viral, and you got, you know, if you got aptitude and deadhead and Serration, it doesn't really matter what element you put in this, it's going to absolutely shred everything. So what we've got here, if we drop this, for example, and we put in Serration. So, you know, we don't have corrosive, let's just say we go pure heat with this thing. So what have we got now? Yeah, we've got heat, we've lost a few stats. We've got hammer shot, vital sense. What could we put in here? Let's put in elementalist as well. As long as you've got serration, aptitude, critical chance and critical damage, you can put whatever element you want in this thing. It's just so strong. And then, you know, deadhead is going to multiply with aptitude, and it's going to be astronomically strong. So if we pull out, we'll take Wisp just for the fire rate. And we'll swap this back to a corrosive setup because we're going to outsource the viral from Nourish. Obviously this gun is going to heavily rely on priming, but that's not an issue with the sort of companions we've got nowadays. So we pause these guys here, no stacks, bit of fire rate, bit of priming, bit of viral. Here we go, he's primed up nice. You know, look at that off the rip. The levels of damage for a full auto gun. 1.3 million, 5.4 million, 3.1 million. Just ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. And it's not even optimized. You know, we can make it stronger by putting corrosive on. This is just heat. Oops. They're exploding now from Contagious Bond. But then look at that, even, like, I would say that the alt fire of the Stata is better, but the primary fire on the Aeolak I think feels better than the Stata's. Oh, missing. So, extremely strong gun. 3.2 million. So definitely not as strong as the Stata on its alt fire, but its primary fire is where it's at with this gun. So, get viral back in the go now. So now if we optimise it to the way I had it, it's far better if we have it this way. So we drop this, we drop Serration, we put this back in here, we drop Hellfire. Now we can put in Corrosive as well. It's going to be a lot stronger. It's actually disgusting how strong it becomes. So we've got, where's our heat? Talking shit. Heat there. Now we'll lower this toxin procs. What's our heat? Our heat's 118, corrosive 223. So let's put in a lower version of that. See what it levels out at. So now we've got heat at 118, corrosive 156. We'll just go with the status chance. Now this is really going to shred now. Yeah. So, well, a little bit of priming in this. Now it's got the corrosive in it and the heat on the serration mod in the Riven. Now for something that's fully auto, hitting as hard as, 4 million a shot, 3 million a hit, 3.3 million, it's just bonkers levels of damage. 6.1 million. What's that, one tap of a fully automatic gun on a prime target there, look. Now once we've got Deadhead stacked up. Oh yeah, the bow is fantastic. I absolutely love the bow. So I'll wipe this guy out here quickly. 7.6 million is not bad in the headshot. Now if we factor in this and we get even more damage, because when Wisp's invisible she's got Arcane Crepuscular, so it's going to do even more damage. But the bow prime is a fantastic weapon for afflictions or influence, because it's got such a big range, and what makes the bow so good is it's got this Clash and Forest default stance. So look at this here. Every second light attack is going to proc afflictions. So we'll show it with afflictions and just show how ridiculous this is off the rip. So what's that? Viral Electric, not that good, but yeah, I've got Loki. I've got some cool things going on with Loki. I'll show it in a sec. So we drop this. We've got afflictions. Let's just put heat on this just now. Put condition overload on. And what's that? So this range here is already 8.57 meters with that ribbon. If you didn't have that ribbon, you would just put range in, obviously. And then look at this, 12.57 meters. It's going to proc afflictions constantly, basically. So condition overload. We'll put some heat on this. Where is it? Heat there. We've got decent status chance. We could put Weeping Wounds in it, I suppose. But do we need it? No. Let's put in 10 stacks of magnetic and 10 stacks of heat on basically every enemy we hit light attack. It's going to be disgusting. So we'll proc afflictions basically all the time with this. So it's that attack there, that spinning one that's going to do it. See it proc afflictions. And then, everybody just explodes. But the bow is super underrated. Look at that, proccing afflictions with every one we hit. Afflictions, see all the white numbers, all that status effects spreading around. Afflictions on everybody again, and then, it just taxes all that shit around. But obviously in mission it won't do that, but it's still going to proc afflictions and massive circles of enemies. Then you've got the strength of, just being able to spam the alt fire. 2.2 million heat dot there. But the main thing is that they've been able to proc afflictions in demand like that. It just lifts everybody up in a huge area. So it's going to one-tap anything with that lifted attack. You know, the amount of dots they're going to take from that is just insane. Let me read that comment. I'll need to pull it up on my app because the screen on the PlayStation doesn't show that much. So we're talking Loki as well, was it? What we've got here, one last thing about Goss. Easiest strength level cup, as far as I'm aware, you didn't mention. Oh, right. Gauss is so easy to do at level cap because of this. That's why probably my most used. But Gauss becomes so easy to do at level cap because let me get this going to show you what I mean with it. So obviously we can abuse the secondary fortifier here. This is multiplicative levels of damage as well. So we're going to abuse this, and then let's say we take something we don't need to really care about, or let's fuck it. We'll just say we'll take a hammer, right? And then let's say we take the hound here. So, you know, he's going to give us overguard with this. This is obviously a bug, but that's going to give us overguard. It's going to boost our shields as well. So what's Gauss got here? Gauss has got, you know, heat, blast, or cold on demand. He's got infinite shields with fast deflection, vigilante, vigor. He's going to boost everything, and you know we can do a lot of damage with this. Arcane Aegis, Arcane Hotshot on demand stacked. So if we show it like this, once I stack this up, then I'll unpause the guys. Now we've got our heat damage on demand as well. We've got viral, so he's going to be a fantastic candidate for melee influence and boosting all our guns. So stack this up here and wait till this passive kicks in. So look at our overguard. The hound's going to proc that for us quite a lot. Now if we leave that heat there, it's going to give us infinite hotshot. So, you know, stack this up here. 4.1 million. So we'll get the odd heat proc with that. Also, we've got this insane fire rate. We've got heat on the gun as well now, once they're primed up. Insane levels of damage. Stalta is just a busted gun, as we know, 22 million, 1.7 million. But then, you know, we can put heat on the Stalta. That's another reason why I really like to have him here. As long as we keep this fire rate up, we should be golden. We've got that boosted up. Now we've got our heat here to keep hot shot up indefinitely now. The levels of damage this is going to do, forcing heat procs. We can spam the alt fire very easily. We can absolutely obliterate people with a normal fire. Stack up Deadhead. 5.9 million. 2.5. So we're getting heat procs in the starter now. As long as we keep this passive up as well, we'll talk about what makes him so good at level cap. 28 million, just disgusting. That's going to kill any enemy in the game. Now we've got our Deadhead stacked up. I think we do. 23 million, just ludicrous. Oh, complete overkill. 181 million heat. 52 million. Nothing surviving that. Now, if we can unpause these guys, we'll show how the Hound will should give us. Now, as long as we get this passive to kick in, this is why he's so good at level cap. So we're immune to the toxin procs. The Hound killed everything. We're immune to the toxin procs because of our. Fuck's sake, the Hound's going to keep killing everything. Wait till these gas clouds stop, then I'll show why he's so good. As long as we've got the blanket of overguard, we don't need to worry about toxin at all. I'll show that in 2 seconds. As long as we've got our passive up like that, we shouldn't have an issue surviving at all. Now if we let these guys break our overguard here, if they do, the Hound's probably going to kill them before they get the chance to. Oh, the Hound's dead now, good. Now we won't be getting overguard from the Hound, but if we keep this up, now we should be able to survive this just easily. Now look at our shields. There we go, Arcane Aegis, look at this. So Gauss at level cap, the only thing he needs to worry about is toxin. As long as there's no toxin, we're taking toxin procs. You know, as long as there's no toxin, Gauss is immortal. Now if you pull something out like this, now you give yourself overguard on demand, now you've got absolutely nothing to worry about. Because you're give yourself overguard on demand, and then if your overguard breaks, they can't get through the shield. Look at the shield. So that's what makes Gauss a simple level cap frame. And then you're going to give everybody nourish, you're going to give everybody heat damage on your weapons. What was your uncle? You know, he's going to just obliterate everything and have a very easy time. And that's why he became my most used, because he just decimated level cap so easily, and he survived it so easily. As long as that passive is active and Arcane Aegis procs once, you're immortal. Look at the levels of damage that Angstrom's doing. So the Angstrom as well would be my absolute go-to gun for level caps, because, you know, let's take off the Hound here so he can't save us. If we take out the Diriga here, who won't be giving us overguard. So if we get this guy's out here, Angstrom as well. So look, when we get in danger with Angstrom, what we can do and get some more energy up. So look, we're losing our overguard. Now we've got Arcane Aegis to proc, hopefully. There we go, Arcane Aegis to proc. So now we're immune to any damage. The only thing we can take damage to is Toxin, but then we pull out the Angstrom. Now we don't have to worry about Toxin at all. And then when it breaks, watch this. The Angstrom just bounced around the room, overguard gating us, because it's going to bounce around and hit these overguarded enemies. I'm already do so much damage with Angstrom, we don't need to worry about a damage arcane. We just take a utility arcane, and there you go. Level cap ready. Completely level cap ready. Arcane Aegis is still proccing, and we've got overguard on demand. We don't need to have an ability for overguard. And then again, if we've got the Hound, you just need to take a secondary and not even worry about proccing it yourself, because the Hound, when it procs Synergized Prospectus over here, look, this is going to proc secondary fortifier. So over here, look at this. We have the Larkspur Prime. We've got secondary fortifier in it here. That means the Hound can give us overguard. Probably going to get patched out at some point. I don't know. But this means you're going to have free overguard as long as you take the Hound with you with Synergized Prospectus. So if we take this off, we've got no secondary fortifier, no secondary. But because the arcane is on this arch gun here, Gauss will be able to get overguard. So let's take something like this that isn't really going to help us at all. We should still proc overguard easily. We'll take rid of our gun. We'll pause these guys. Wait, have we got overguard? No, we don't. Right, we'll pause these guys here. We'll summon them in, and we should see the Hound giving us overguard. Once he does the synergize thing. Not done it yet. Why not? Strange. There we go. Look at our overguard. We're now proccing overguard. So that's enough to clutch you at times, you know, if you can get the Hound to proc overguard. That's enough to clutch you. Now we've got heat, electric, cold. And we don't even have something that we need to rely on. The Hound will just do all this sort of survivability for us. So if we unpause this here, we get our bar full, and then Arcane Aegis should proc, and then we should get, look, we're getting an overguard. We should be golden. We shouldn't have anything to worry about. Now the survivability as well that's coming from this Hound freezing everybody is good. Now look at the levels of damage we're doing now with the heat we've injected into this. 10 million. Absolutely disgusting. So that's the reason I love Gauss so much. Now also the little daggers that fly around, I'll heat proc them as well. Now Arcane Aegis is just proccing constantly, and then the Hound should give us overguard when he does the Synergized Prospectus. They've all lost their overguard though, so you can't do it. Obviously, if they don't have overguard, the Hound can't give us overguard. So we kind of want them to always be in a room with somebody with at least a little bit of overguard to abuse that mechanic. But he's killing them before they kind of even spawn in now. Nice. Okay, right, you have a good day, Baron. I might be out. I'm going out for some food tonight with my friend. But I might be on later on late tonight. Who else did we discuss? We talked about Loki, so I'll do a little talk about Loki here, and you can come back and watch it later if you want to. And look at that, where Arcane Aegis is proccing, nothing can kill us. As long as we can proc overguard, we're going to be fine. And we're keeping the Hound alive. He's getting, you know, overguard from us too, which is quite a symbiotic relationship here. As you can see, again, we've got some overguard there. Look, we're getting a bit of an overguard gate. Now the overguard's gone because there's nobody to steal it from. But the Arcane Aegis is proccing and keeping us alive. And these guys have got so many status effects in them that, you know, condition overload is a no-brainer to use. So that's the way I run Goss, and I'll show the mods here if anybody wants to see it and copy it. What has happened? Oh, it's done that glitch. No, it hasn't. Yep, it's done that glitch. I'm going to have to end this stream now because it does this fucking glitch that you can't get out of this screen. Yep, stuck in this screen now. I don't know why it does this shit. It's really irritating. So, I'm now stuck in the screen. Oh, I'm getting out of it. No, completely glitched. Give me 2 minutes and I'll be back. And I'll finish the point I was making about Gauss. Good idea about it. But this is glitched out when I can't get out of the screen. I don't know why it does this in the simulacrum. If I click on the operator arcanes and that kind of glitches out. So I'll click off this and I'll restart a new stream and finish the points I was making about Gauss. And then I'll talk about Loki. Yeah, I'll restart it now. The great thing about Loki is you don't even need invisibility because he's that good at CCing enemies. You could actually subsume off his invisibility, which sounds ridiculous. There's no need to. But, you know, Loki with Arcane Hotshot and Arcane Crepuscular can basically do the same as Ashe, and in a way a bit more. He's like an Ashe clone that can do more. You know, you can get the crit chance with Arcane Hotshot, you can get Arcane Crepuscular for the crit damage, and you can make Loki a powerhouse of crit damage and crit chance, and then abuse him in other ways. So he can prime for you as well, but I'll show in a minute. Cheers.